Listen to that voodoo beat, turning on that devil heat. Baby, take care, Satan's not square. Beware of the devil blues. Hear that lonesome saxophone playing notes you never know. Baby, go home, leave it alone. It's only the devil blues. Rock and roll beat and a cool glass of juice makes you feel so loose. You're in a trance, you just got to dance. And the devil says, take a chance. Now the music fades away. Took a chance, now you must pay. You're all alone, no love of your own. You've known the devil blues.
Hello, vinyl community. I am back again to do another contest response. Now, there's a bunch of contests going on. I wish I had the time to do all of them. I'm just getting off work, by the way, and it's quiet in the house, so I had the opportunity to film a video. But Andy's Vinyl Den is doing a contest related to the 7 Deadly Sins, and I'm just hoping I can make it in before the contest closes. And you know, the questions really intrigue me, and so this is why I'm jumping in on this one. Andy, if you're having to catch this, and you know, provided I'm not late on my response, you don't have to put me in anyway. I've won my contest for the year. I'm just happy to do a response for you. But anyway, let's get into it. The first question was Pride. Show us something related to the sin Pride. Show us an album that you're proud to own. And you know, records are material things, but you know, the items that I'm proud to own were things that were loved by previous collectors that I know of. And so recently I got a parting VCLT gift from Mr. Stephen Bell, who donated his entire collection to Corey, and that's Corey's VC channel, and he's looking to offload all of his audio gear. He's having health issues, so he kept this one sealed for the longest time. So you know, this is a piece that I'm proud to own, and I'm hoping that I can pass it on to someone that will also cherish it. But there's another piece I wanted to feature here, and almost 5 years ago to the day, Amoeba Records acquired a huge collection from the East Coast, something like 50,000 LPs, and they were documenting it on their Amoeba blog. And unfortunately, they only put a limited amount on their website. And I'd say out of the 30,000, 50,000 LPs, they probably put 300. But they were showing some LPs on their blog, and the collector, his name was Eddie, like I'm showing you here in this photograph. And Amoeba did 2 videos on it, and I managed to find one, and it's Eddie's wife talking about, you know, her husband. So just to cut to a clip here.
It was so various and so variegated, and he was so enthusiastic about all of it, you know, that I just waited till he put it on the machine, and I heard it and said, "Ooh, I like that."
And there was a lot that he never even got to open.
Oh, I know.
They were still shrink wrapped.
I know. And when he got ill and his kidneys failed and he was on the dialysis, which is every second day and drives you crazy, of course we got even further behind in hearing. But we were waiting for the chance.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned how he had a lot of different genres in there, and he sure did.
Yes.
But he had a lot of jazz, classical, but he also had a lot of soundtracks, a lot of
He
European.
loved,
so was he a movie fan?
He loved soundtracks, and he loved finding the singers in Britain and Italy and so forth that were, he thought, in the same caliber as our best, you know.
One of the features of a lot of these records is that they were very, very limited issues. They were only 1,500, 200 made. It's mostly jazz, world music, vocal music, avant-garde classical, Hungarian composers, Czech, a lot of Japanese pressings. It's the kind of esoteric, exotic collection that you wouldn't normally see in a record store anywhere all at once. I'm going to show you a little bit of what's in here. We have Mauricio Kagel, the great classical composer. Thousands of exotic soundtracks that I've never seen. Beautiful foreign pressings. Lots of French records, exotic, wonderful. Roger, the French composer, we have a lot of his records in the collection.
So Nola, as Eddie's wife, I mean, she had a career in radio, and she was quite the attractive woman back in the day. But one of the items that came up through the Amoeba blog, they had like 30 LPs listed, was this one here. And as soon as I saw it, I had to snap it up because I knew it wouldn't last long, and almost everything they had on the blog went quickly. But this is an Italian singer, and this is probably one of the most noteworthy Italian singers out there, and that's Milva. The other one is Mina, but I'll go into that in a future video. But I love the cover. This is Argentinian tango music with an Italian fling to it. Nice gatefold. And, a lot of his stuff was supposedly sealed, but either Amoeba opened it or I'm hoping he opened it. And I would not pass on a cover like this. I mean, I'm thinking psychedelic, I'm thinking something interesting. And he had a lot of world music, which I went after. I got a few other pieces from his collection, but, I tried to grab what I could. All the jazz stuff was gone. But just to give you a sampling of what this is like, here you go.
Questo tango suona sempre, non smette mai di tormentarmi, e so che non potrò fermarlo mai, perché l'ho dentro il cuore. Questo tango suona sempre. Ormai comprendo che ho sbagliato e che passando la mia vita insieme a voi c'è solo buio intorno a me. Adesso voglio un nuovo mondo.
Andy's second question was related to greed, and specifically, what album would you not part with at any price? And so I have a very interesting story related to this one. Back around 2010, I started to get into jazz. I got in a big jazz kick, and my favorite group, even to this day, is Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. But when I started to dig into his back history, I found out that Horace Silver, very famous pianist, jazz pianist, was a founding member. In fact, there were a couple albums titled Horace Silver and the Jazz Messengers. Well, I really wanted to get to know more about Horace Silver, and so found out that he had a website, and I went to his website, and I found his autobiography on his website. And his website had ones that were autographed and that he would autograph and personalize to you. So I ordered a personalized version of his autobiography. I mean, he was pretty old at this time. He was in his upper 80s, I want to say. And within a couple of days of me putting in my order, I got a response from his son, and his son basically wrote and said, hey, my dad is not doing so well, he's not very active, so I can't do the personalized autograph version of the book. I can definitely refund your money, but he said, hey, if you still want it, I'll get you the autobiography. But he said, hey, we do have some autographed CDs that I can definitely throw in the package for you. And he threw this in for free, and it just basically says best wishes, Horace Silver. So I think less than a couple years or a few years afterwards, Horace Silver passed away. So yeah, this is a piece that I would not part with, because I found the book fantastic. It's good getting to know a little bit more about a musician that is basically not well known to a lot of folks. And if you're not familiar with Horace Silver, maybe you're familiar with a couple of bars to this track. So, what'd you think? Did you recognize the chords? Andy's next question was related to lust. So, what album do you lust after? And, well, I have it, sort of. So, this is another Amoeba related story. And Amoeba had this album that I always wanted, particularly for one particular track, and they had it for $16.99, and Amoeba has free shipping, so I'm like, oh, I gotta do it. This is the only bad experience I've ever had with Amoeba, and the album is Songs of Innocence by David Axelrod. So this is a Canadian press. I'm like, I don't care. I want, the closest thing to original. So got the album, opened up the box, and, how did the record turn out? Well, I don't know why I kept it. Maybe I kept it for this very video like 4 or 5 years later, but look at that. See that crack? It's just, this is not playable by any means. I think less than a month later, I did manage to acquire a repress of it. So this was done at Rainbow, which does not have the greatest pressing quality. And whenever I see this 180 gram sticker, I'm always a little bit suspect of it. I mean, it's not a terrible reissue. I got it for $11.99 from Dusty Groove in Chicago online. But the track that I'm after is Holy Thursday, so here's a sampling of that one. So yeah, I've had my hands on an original of this. These go for 3 figures easily, in really good condition. I love the song. The album's not bad. It's David Axelrod, but I'm not willing to pay 3 figures for it. So I'm just going to have to sit tight and enjoy this one. Your next question was related to Envy. And Envy, Andy asked, okay, what band would you want to be in? And my response to that is this band here, but up to a certain point in time. So I would want to be with them at the beginning up until about 1973. I think that this band, they were innovative, they were willing to experiment, they were willing to take risks, they had mojo. And, they had a lot of fun. I mean, they had the whole groupie scene. I would have to be single, too. I mean, I love my wife, but, if I was a part of this band, I'd want to start out single so I could have fun. And, dropping televisions outside of a hotel window or riding a motorcycle around on the top floor of the Hyatt House in California, that would just be fantastic. I mean, having lots of fun, playing great music, being on the verge of a real breakthrough and breakout. Yeah, that's what I would want to be a part of. Andy's next question was related to gluttony, and specifically give us a band or an artist that you're going to stick with them through and through, even though they might release a dud. And the artist that I chose for this is controversial. There are many in the VC that absolutely do not like him, and I get that. I understand why. I happen to like him. I like his gravelly voice. I think there's an intelligence to some of his lyrics and the way he composes the songs, and that is Tom Waits. And I'm more of a fan of Tom Waits probably about 1983 and beyond. When you get before 1983, he was more of a singer-songwriter, and that stuff is okay. I like it, but I prefer when he took on the Captain Beefheart mantle, and he changed his voice a little bit, and the music became a little more odd and experimental, which I liked. And this just happens to be one of my favorites in the past decade. Now, his last album, Bad As Me, featured Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones, but I was not super excited about this album. There were a few good tracks on it, but it wasn't as solid as I was expecting. I will still continue to follow him through and through regardless. Next question was Wrath. Give us a band that you absolutely hate, dislike. A lot of people don't like to use the word hate. But, yeah, all those bands that you guys have been saying that you don't like, I'm with you. Because there's been a lot of great responses. And, yeah, a lot of people have been honest. I don't like this band. And there's been a lot of them like, yeah, I'm not a fan of that band. Or the band got stale and they're like, I don't like them anymore. And I'm like, I get that too. So I'm with you. Now let me add another artist to the pot. And they started out, and I thought maybe they'd have some mojo, and then they put out this song. I mean, this just drives me nuts. I hear it in supermarkets, and what do you guys think? I mean, is this just complete yeah. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of Hoobastank. And what the hell's with the name? Next question. My response to this one might be a little bit controversial as well. It's Sloth. So give us a band that you were really, really into, but you just don't listen to them as much anymore. And for me, that would be Pearl Jam. And I have stuck with them, but I've come to the conclusion that, at the turn of the millennia, they lost their mojo. I mean, I just do not feel the same way about their music like I did before 2000. I mean, I've collected their bootlegs, I've listened to them live, but all the new stuff that they've released post-2000, to me it's just, what are you guys writing? I mean, go do something different, take some risks, be experimental, find something new to do. But this is just, I mean, it's tired. It's like, change up the arrangements, do something different. They have lost their mojo. So don't get me wrong, I like Pearl Jam, but I just do not listen to them the way I used to. I'm not infatuated with the band the way I used to be. If they come out with a new release, I'll probably debate about whether I'll buy it or not, because ever since, again, past the year 2000, I have gotten really tired, and it's like I'll play the albums or the CDs a few times, but I never return to it. So yeah, Pearl Jam is my answer to Sloth. So hopefully I didn't offend anyone. If you did, feel free to give me a thumbs down. But I'd be curious to see what you guys think. Do you feel the same way that I did? Andy, happy birthday, my friend. And for all you watching, thanks for sticking with me this far.